it's good to see that even though they have a lot of sway and a lot of say, and, I'm talking about BlackRock and other sort of ESG entities, they don't have enough of a say there in the market because ultimately people are like, oh, okay, I want to be clear away from any boycotts associated with these companies. Disney is another one that we have to talk about. So Disney is in the news today because, Ron DeSantis and Disney, they're always getting into it. Ron DeSantis is expected to announce his campaign for president as soon as next week. He's way behind Donald Trump in the polls, but, anything can happen in politics. So it's not over till it's over, as they say. So we'll see on Ron DeSantis, but he's warring with Disney, which is not a great look. Honestly, look, I get Disney, and we can talk about that. But I'm also saying sort of, when you look at the traditional conservative economic values, he's not really in line with that because that's sort of more like what you would see from, I don't know, a Gavin Newsom who effectively drove Tesla out of California. It's not what you would expect from someone who's really free market oriented. This is taking kind of a nasty turn. And even Donald Trump has come out and said, look, if I were Disney, I'd get the heck out of there. And you have Mike Pence as well. All the conservatives are sort of lining up against Ron DeSantis on this one. And that makes sense in that they're saying this is not really the spirit of growing an economy. Well, they were going to build this nearly $1 billion housing complex for employees. They were going to bring new tech employees into Florida, Orlando, Florida. And, the jobs are going to pay like $120,000 a year. So it would have been a big benefit to the overall economy. But Ron DeSantis is pulling what I would call kind of an Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez move because AOC, remember when she said thanks but no thanks to Amazon? I mean, those would have been phenomenal jobs in her district there in Queens. Well, in this case, it's Ron DeSantis who's losing out on thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs that would have been generated and therefore more economic growth for his state by saying, by being in this war effectively with Disney. Now, I get it. They don't like each other. He doesn't like that they're spending so much money against conservatives. He doesn't like this whole don't say gay thing. I mean, the guy's got a point. You don't need to be addressing these things with little kids in school. I mean, for goodness sakes, they don't even understand heterosexuality. Why would you be introducing all these other things? It's just wrong. It's too much. They shouldn't be inundated with this stuff at such an early age. So I'm with him on that. And Disney, of course, went nuts about it. And they've got a big parade, a big pride parade happening in June there at Disney. You can pay somewhat $150 to take your kids to it. Disney prices are really expensive. The rides, they are breaking down more and more. We've seen, certainly under Bob Chapek, lots of evidence of that. And then you've got lines like you wouldn't believe. I'm like, who wants to go and wait in those lines? I was actually just in Orlando recently. And, we thought about, do we go over to Disney? And now, I used to love Disney, by the way. Disney was my favorite place to go. I used to make a pilgrimage every year to Disney. But now I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Who's going to wait in those lines to go on these rides? Maybe you get into 3 rides a day. Who needs it? Or you can spend a fortune and then get in the back door. That's the other way to go. And then you bypass the lines. And then what's that teaching your kids, right? If you just spend enough money that you can bypass the lines, because they have a sneaky way of doing that there at Disney as well. So I'm kind of done with Disney. We were in Orlando. We did actually go over to their marketplace area and go to some of the restaurants and stuff, which was fine. That was fine. But the idea of having to wait in line, I'm sorry, not if I'm paying that much money. Thank you very much.